Hello, my name is Matthias Cavodi. I'd like to welcome you guys to my channel. Today we're going to do the second half of the Avengers vs. X-Men crossover. That in a previous video we covered issues 1 through 6. Now we're going to do 7 through 12. And as I told you guys before, there's stuff I really liked about this crossover. I had a lot of fun with it because I really love the X-Men franchise in general. I also have grown to love over the years the Avengers. So all of these characters I hold very near and dear to my heart. This crossover has a ton of plot holes. Yes, it shamelessly tries to plug in too many tie-ins. Also, some of the tie-ins are pretty good, and some of them are a total waste of time. They're shameless cash grabs. But there's one thing I really didn't like about this crossover, is the way Cyclops is characterized, especially at the end. So, let's get into this story, and I'll show you guys what stuff I liked, what I didn't like, and at least for me, it's worth a read. I had a lot of fun with it, so I do recommend you guys, if you haven't read it, go out, get your hands on it. And some of the tie-ins are also pretty good. They're worth a while to get your hands on. So, we start with issue number 7. Cyclops utters the words, "No more Avengers." He's tired. He doesn't want to deal with the Avengers anymore. They're hindering his plan to create world peace, make this incredible place for humans and mutants. So they have to be out of the picture. So he sets the X-Men out to find the Avengers and bring them in. So this issue starts with the X-Men hunting down the Avengers, finding the Avengers in one of their secret bases. A battle ensues. Magic arrives, one of the members of the Phoenix Five. She totally unleashes her powers on Scarlet Witch, who's popped up in the story. She's back in the picture. She has rejoined the Avengers. And when she attacks Scarlet Witch, she unleashes her Hicks powers. Marvel comes and goes with the thing about chaos magic, if it exists, if it doesn't exist. Here, the concept of chaos magic actually is back. Her powers just cause havoc to anyone who has the Phoenix Force powers, and she's able to defeat magic. So this really pisses off Emma Frost, another member of the Phoenix Five. She really flips out. But when she's about to attack Scarlet Witch, she gets nailed by an arrow, one of those crazy doohickey arrows that Hawkeye has. And this really pisses Emma Frost off. And she straight up kills Hawkeye right on the spot. And so this really helps illustrate how the Phoenix Force sort of corrupts its host, and the transition into being villains and the whole Dark Phoenix thing is. And another thing that's pretty funny is, like, this is the 3rd or 4th time that Hawkeye gets killed in the story. So poor Hawkeye, they always use him as cannon fodder for these type of things. So she straight up kills Hawkeye. The X-Men do retreat. They take Hawkeye with them. They bring him back to life, because with the Phoenix Force powers, that's pretty easy for them. But it's like, poor Hawkeye. They always kill him in these types of stories. So after this, what happens is the Phoenix Five keep their assault on the Avengers, because also Hope Summers has defected with the Avengers. So Cyclops wants Hope Summers back with the mutants, back on Utopia, where he can keep an eye on her, because Cyclops does realize that Hope Summers can be a liability, because she was supposed to be the true host for the Phoenix Force. So what happens is, in one of these battles that was headed by Namor, he's on the attack, and Scarlet Witch again uses her powers on Namor. He teleports him to another place, and this really drives Namor crazy. Like, he's riding high on this power trip of the Phoenix Force and the whole corruption on him, and this really flips him out. Like, he can't deal with the fact that he was just utterly humiliated by the Scarlet Witch. So what happens is, Hope Summers, Spider-Man, Iron Man go to Kunlun. They're going to start training Hope Summers so she can better deal with and manage the Phoenix Force, so she doesn't get corrupted with all that kung fu and all that mystical stuff is going to give her a helping hand. There's actually a really cool tie-in that I'm going to actually cover in a separate video with Kunlun, the history of Kunlun, this mystical city where Iron Fist comes from, and the Phoenix Force. That the first time I read it, I didn't like the whole concept, but now going back and rereading it, it's really good. It's a really interesting concept because I didn't know within Chinese mythologies there's a whole relationship between dragons, where Iron Fist gets his powers, and Phoenix. That's where the whole yin yang thing comes from. It comes from the relationship between dragons and phoenixes. So that was a really good idea. So she's off to Kunlun training while the Avengers are trying to deal with and distracting the Phoenix Five from not finding her. The thing is, Namor's really pissed off because he got his ass handed to him by the Scarlet Witch. He realizes that the Avengers are hiding out in Wakanda, and he sends a giant tsunami to destroy Wakanda. This actually sets up a terrible rivalry. Not a rivalry. Literally, Namor and Black Panther want to kill each other for a really long time after this crossover. This really shapes what is to come for Namor for a real long time for this really dick move and just trying to destroy Wakanda. So, issue number 8. Namor reaches Wakanda. He straight out tries to destroy it. I just only can imagine how many poor people he killed in one gigantic tsunami. The Atlanteans arrive with their forces and sea monsters. They're causing all types of chaos. The Avengers are trying to fend off and save as many people as possible. Like, the art to this crossover is really good. Really, really good. I really enjoyed it. Namor straight up breaks Red Hulk's arm, like, with one hand. That's totally kick-ass. But what happens is Scarlet Witch, again, uses her powers against Namor, blasts him, and he loses the Phoenix Force. And what the other Phoenix 5, or now 4, realizes that Namor's half goes back to them, and they're more powerful. So they start to realize that less members means more power for whoever still is the Phoenix. So this is going to shape a sort of a power struggle and a situation and friction among the members of the Phoenix 5. So Namor, no longer the Phoenix. The Avengers hide in Kunlun. And we also have Xavier in the picture. He arrives to tell Cyclops, what the fuck are you doing? You're destroying my dream. This is not what I wanted from you. And obviously, Xavier sides with the Avengers. So, as the story progresses, the Phoenix 5 we see this progression into the Dark Phoenix. They're starting to corrupt all the hosts. So we have Colossus and Magic have this terrible prison that they created in a volcano that's inhabited with demons from Limbo. That's where they're keeping the Avengers. So that's a pretty dick move by Colossus and Magic, obviously with the heads up of Cyclops, while the Avengers are training Hope and trying to regroup in Kunlun. Here we have the separation between Black Panther and Storm, where we do get a tie-in about this, but basically they were married. Here it's established that they're married no more. They've officially got not even divorced. Like Black Panther does it like this administrative thing where it just appears that they were never married in the first place. So that was pretty terrible. And this is a cool little moment here where Emma Frost finds this guy that ran over and killed a mutant 10 years ago, and she goes and kills the guy and explains to her family why she killed him in cold blood. This moment, the writing here was really good. I really enjoyed how this darkness within her and seeking vengeance for the mutants and stuff like that. That's really good. So, we have the Avengers trying to free their teammates in this hellish prison. And here we get another really good character moment. The Avengers make an escape. Spider-Man stays behind to get Colossus and Magic off their heels and trying to distract them. And so we get like one of those helpless moments where Spider-Man knows he can't defeat these guys. He's going up impossible odds and he gets his ass handed to him. But with his intelligence and his wit, he starts to create a conflict between Colossus and Magic. And you start telling us like, what are you going to do when so and so loses the Phoenix Force, and who's going to be the last one with the power and stuff like that. And this actually drives a wedge between Magic and Colossus, leading to them trying to take each other out and both losing the Phoenix Force. So that was a pretty good written moment. This is Spider-Man. This is how Spider-Man works. He is a fantastic character. The writing is really good here too. So we have 2 members of the Phoenix Five left. Cyclops finds the Avengers in Kunlun. He tries to take them down there, and there he gets confronted by Hope Summers. Also, we have Phoenix. We have dissent amongst the X-Men. They start to realize that what's going on is not cool. Things are really going south. Things are pretty terrible. They don't want to have nothing to do with the Phoenix Five anymore, or the 2. Scott Summers has totally lost his way. And Scott Summer gets attacked by Xiao Lao, the dragon that gives the powers to the Iron Fist. We have Hope Summers riding him. I can't remember this guy. He's from Iron Fist side of the Marvel Universe. And when he gets Cyclops gets hit by this magical fire of the dragon, it really hurts him. This is like the first battle that sort of shakes Cyclops. He says, whoa, boy, wait, I'm not all powerful. Hope actually absorbs the power of the dragon and uses it against him. And I didn't know Hope can actually absorb powers that weren't of mutants, so that was an interesting thing. And then she absorbs Scarlet Witch's power. So Cyclops realizes he's over his head, he disappears. And no, Hope actually teleports him away. But he doesn't lose the Phoenix Force powers. So we get into the last 2 chapters. Cap recruits the Incredible Hulk. I don't know how he's going to help too much against the Phoenix Force, but okay. Xavier, who's, as I said before, aligned himself with the Avengers, meet up with all the X-Men. They've all defected. They've joined the Avengers, the X-Men, X-Force, New Mutants, all of them, because they know that things have gone terribly wrong, and that Emma and Cyclops actually are a liability for the whole world. They can destroy the whole world because they're really going off the rails. Cyclops is confronted by Xavier. We get this epic battle. The battle's really good. I really enjoyed it. We have even Magneto's not on Cyclops' side. Like, up until this point, I even do understand Cyclops' point of view, his evolution as a character, how he thinks he can save this. He's trying to do the best for his own race and all that. Up to here, Cyclops is very well characterized. I can understand him, where he comes from. Even his bitter anger against Xavier. Also, he absorbs, and one last move, he actually takes the Phoenix Force from Emma Frost. All that I can understand, even up to the moment he kills Xavier out of rage. Like, this moment is actually heartbreaking. It's very well done. All this is very well done. You can see this evolution within Cyclops as a character. But the way he acts after this, before I get to that, we're told in this story that after Wanda, Scarlet Witch, said no more mutants, this caused an imbalance in Earth. No more mutants was a problem. That's why the Phoenix came back to Earth. The main goal of the Phoenix was to reactivate all the mutants on the planet, because this caused a disturbance. And I'd like to tie this to the X-Men Forever. There's no mention of this X-Men Forever story where they tell that mutants are the evolution to the abstract entities of the universe, and the Phoenix is sort of here to protect humanity to reach that goal. So the Phoenix comes to Earth to bring balance and reignite the mutant population. But Cyclops kept the Phoenix Force for himself, for his own interests and own goals, even though they were noble at first. Now he's gone into full-on Dark Phoenix mode. So this epic battle keeps going on. We get Nova, like you saw him at the beginning of this crossover. He's back. Now, Hope, who has learned a lot under the tutelage of the Iron Fist and Spider-Man, she's the real deal now. With Scarlet Witch, they're able to defeat Cyclops. He loses the Phoenix Force. And finally, Hope Summers, who is now prepared, because she wasn't prepared prior to this, gets the Phoenix Force, goes around the world, restarts all the mutants, gives the mutants their power back. They say no more Phoenix. She makes friends with Scarlet Witch because there's like a terrible rivalry between both of these characters. And the story's over. Now, what I really didn't like about this, it's cool, we have the X-Men are back. The whole relationship between the X-Men and the Avengers and the Uncanny Avengers, I loved what spun out of this story. But the way Cyclops is characterized after this, he's a total asshole. And he's not like that. Like Scott Summers as a character, like, I know the whole part he's become a battle-hardened leader, all that I do understand. But he's never an asshole. Like, at heart, he is a good guy. And, like, he shows no remorse for the death of Charles Xavier. Like, there's barely any mention of that. And it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right as his character. Like, I'm not even going to analyze these issues of the 4-issue tie-in conclusion to this story. Like, what happens to all the characters after this crossover. Because the way Cyclops is characterized, he's just a total dick. I really don't like the direction they take Cyclops after this story. Especially not feeling any guilt for killing his father. Like, the guy was his father figure. The only good thing about the 4-issue Consequences story is that we get the glimpse of one of my favorite characters coming back, which is Cable. He never stays dead. He was killed. No, he's back. And I'm going to leave this video here. I hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time. Bye.